Greetings Halo fans! We're back with another video review. This time we're taking a look at the Mattel Halo Series 1 Spartan Locke action figure. Now for those of you who have seen Halo Nightfall or of course played Halo 5, you know exactly who Spartan Locke is. But for those of you who do not, let me give you just a brief bio. Lieutenant Commander Jameson Locke, born on the human colony world of Jericho 7 on 15 March 2529. Locke was about 6 years old when the Covenant attacked Jericho 7, and he was evacuated, but his parents were killed. Later, as an adult, he enlisted in the UNSC Navy, and at some point during his career, he was either selected by or volunteered for ONI, the Office of Naval Intelligence. Where he went to work in Section 3, which was responsible for the Spartan programs. Well, while in ONI, Locke was assigned as an acquisition specialist, and his primary task was recovering items. It could be Forerunner technology, it could be armor off of a dead elite, a crashed UNSC prototype ship like a Saber, just whatever they sent him to find. That, in all actuality, was a cover for his primary task, which was hunting and killing high-value targets. At some point, he began to compile a folder on the Arbiter to hunt him down and kill him eventually, which didn't happen. At some point during his career with ONI, after the mission on Cedra, Commander Locke volunteered and was selected for the Spartan 4 program, where he now leads Fire Team Osiris. Right now in the current storyline, Locke is the second highest ranking Spartan in the Spartan 4 program underneath Commander Sarah Palmer, who is basically in charge of the entire contingent of Spartans. Locke wears the Generation 2 variant of the Hunter armor, and you can see in the package he is equipped with a BR-85 heavy barrel service rifle, and he also comes with a Covenant weapon as well. I really like Locke. He is a fascinating character. He's very analytical, very serious-minded, but he's also compassionate. Sometimes he questions the orders of those above him, but he never fails to carry out the orders that he's given. So you can see that this iteration by Mattel of Spartan Locke is a larger mold, of course, like the other figures, and it just looks really nice. I really like the way that his armor appears, and I like the armor segments and that sort of thing. On the side of the packaging, of course, is artwork of Spartan Locke, and that is on all of Mattel's packaging for the Spartans. On the back, of course, you have your obligatory product images. On the left, you see Spartan Locke without his armor, just the bodysuit. In the center are the 14 armor segments, and then the 2 accessories. And on the right, you see him completely armored up. In the lower left, of course, are the images of the Series 1 figures, and in the lower right is a image of the completed Alpha Crawler. These Series 1 figures all have the Build-A-Figure segments in each box to complete the Promethean Alpha Crawler. And I think I might show that after I review the Elite Zealot. So we're going to pause the video, remove the figure from the packaging, and see what it's all about. Stay tuned. Alright, we're back with Spartan Locke. And before I get into the actual review, let me show you guys the instruction sheet. It's just very simplified and straightforward instructions. Diagram on the front detailing the figure, the armor segments, and the accessories. You open it up. On the first page at the upper left shows you how to attach the front armor. Lower left shows you how to attach the back armor. On the upper right shows you how to attach the assault rifle to his back. And on the lower right shows you how to attach the Covenant weapon. So it's very, very straightforward. Now, before I get into showing you guys about the armor segments, I wanted to bring him up really close to the camera so you guys could see the detail in his bodysuit. He just looks really, really nice. I love the way that this figure looks. Just very, very well done. They put a lot of thought and work into these action figures, and I can't say enough good things about them. I really love the Mattel figures, and I think that they have a winner on their hands with this toy line. Mattel is going to be able to do so much more than a company like McFarlane ever could, and you know, they have, of course, far more finances, assets, resources. They're the second largest toy company in the world, so they have really gone all out with this this toy line. It just looks really, really nice. So I wanted to show you guys how to attach the armor segments, and I've actually done something else. I went one step extra and I removed his chest armor because I wanted to show you guys how that goes on these figures. So here's his chest armor, and you can see right here on the side it has this little piece where it snaps into place. So to attach the chest armor to the figure, you're basically just going to bring it over their head like this, and it's going to come down, and here on the side it's going to snap into place. Alright guys, we've got Spartan Locke out of the packaging, and before we get into the actual review slash tutorial, for those of you who want to know what the instruction sheet looks like, it's very simplified and straightforward. The front cover simply details the figure, the armor segments, and the weapons that are included. Open it up at the top left, you're going to see a diagram of how to attach the front armor sections, the bottom left, the rear armor sections. On the next page at the top right, it's going to show how to attach the rifle. The bottom right is going to show how to attach the Covenant weapon to his thigh. That's all there is to the instructions. So I wanted you guys, before I attach the armor, to see the bodysuit up close. And I really have to say hats off to Mattel. They've done an awesome job on these figures. I really love the level of detail that is in not only the bodysuit but the armor sections as well. And the design and sculpt of these figures is just awesome. I prefer these figures over the McFarlane figures any day of the week. They are just a nicer mold. And of course they're larger than the McFarlane figures. They stand 6 inches tall. The McFarlane figures are 5.5 inches. And though they don't have the level of paint apps that the McFarlane figures have, they make up for that with the points of articulation, being able to stand on their own, the posability, you know, with using them in dioramas or just displayed by themselves. They can hold their weapons. They are well balanced, and the McFarlane figures were none of those. And you know, just the separate armor sections, and you'll see it once he's completely armored up, just look far more realistic than having the armor molded as one piece with the figure itself. And you know, as far as the points of articulation, I'll go over some of those with you now. The head, of course, is on a ball joint and has a full range of motion. Very nice. At the shoulders, it'll move forward, laterally, and twist. Of course, he has an elbow joint, twist at the wrist. Hips will move forward, laterally, twist. Has a double jointed knee, sort of bend there as well as here. Ankles on a ball joint. His torso will rotate. So just, you know, really, really awesome. And the level of posability and some of the photos I've been able to take with these figures is incredible. So we're going to start with the foot armor, and it's kind of like a slipper. It's open on the bottom except at the heel, and the way you attach that is just to slip it over his boot like so. and his foot armor is on. Now I'm going to turn around to the back, and you see all the points on the body where the armor attaches. They are the same. They're identical on all the Spartans, so that the armor can be interchanged if you wish to do so. This is the back plate. It's just going to push straight into this point right here. And in case you're wondering, that's very secure. It's not loose. It's not going anywhere. Next, I'm going to attach the calf armor. The calf armor on this leg does not want to plug all the way in for some reason. You see it wants to come out. But once I put the shin armor on, it'll kind of sit in place. Now on Locke, the shin armor is a little bit different. It's very, very narrow and tight, unlike some of the other Spartans. Now I don't know if you can see this, but that peg has been stressed. And I guess what they did at the factory is they test fitted the armor pieces before placing them in the packaging. And that peg was actually bent. And I was concerned that it had broken off. I contacted Amazon. They're sending a replacement out for free. But of course I'm still going to use this figure. So I'm going to see if I can snap this shin armor on without any problems. Yeah, it went right into place. Cool. So it's not broken. Next piece is going to be the thigh armor. And again, it's cut differently than like the Air Assault Spartan, the Helios Grill, and the Master Chief. It's slightly narrower, a little bit tighter fit. So just kind of pull them apart gently and rotate it around, and you'll get it to plug right into place. On the forearm, I've talked about this in my previous reviews. This hand is on a very small stem and ball joint, similar to what you just saw on the shin armor. So be very careful popping the hand off. Just hold his forearm tight and just twist and pop it off. And here you can see what I'm referring to. And if that ever turns white, that means you've stressed it and it could potentially break. So just take the gauntlet armor, push it on, and to put his hand back on, just push the ball joint in first, as far as it'll go, and then just apply the minimum amount of pressure to get it to go in. Next thing I'm going to attach is the shoulder armor. It's going to go on like that. And I actually took the chest armor off. This is the first time I've done that, but I wanted you guys to see how that attaches. This kind of reminds me, as a kid I had the He-Man action figures growing up, and He-Man had this kind of like shoulder thing deal that went on, and it snapped in just like this. Now I want to show this to everyone so that you can see this clearly. If you push this in now, it's going to lock in securely on both sides, because I'm able to actually put pressure behind this tab and push it into that slot. So that's secure, and it'd be well and great if I could put it on him that way, but I can't. So if you see this snap off or it's loose during the remainder of the video, it is not a defect of any type. It is simply because I didn't secure this. And you might have to take like a narrow pair of needle nose pliers or something to mash it in so that it's in there securely. Their chest armor just goes over their head, slips on like this, and then you're just going to come under here come under their arm and push that in. Now that one I've got in pretty tight. And there you go. There's Spartan Locke armored up. Now for his accessories, his primary weapon is the BR-85 heavy barrel service rifle, and it's got a lot of detailing in it as well. You can see it's got a holographic sight. It's got the UNSC markings on it, that kind of thing. And I've got the peg put in on that side of it. And this is the short barrel version of this gun. Then we have this Covenant weapon, which is really nice, and the paint is actually kind of glittery. You can see that through the camera, but it looks really nice. They did a really nice job applying paint apps to the weapons. And you can attach the rifle to his back just by plugging it into that port, like so. It's just a very, very awesome figure. And he can hold, you know, the weapons in any hand, or, you know, what have you, if you wanted to use the battle rifle. I took some pictures for Amazon earlier outside, and you know, you can just put the figure in just about any pose that you want to. And the hands, of course, are almost like a soft rubber. You know, they're not going to stress or break or anything like that. But just really cool. You know, I really, really like that. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do with this this review is bring out the McFarlane Halo 5 Spartan Locke for comparison. For those of you who have looked down on the Mattel figures, made negative comments, that sort of thing, I wanted to offer a comparison of the two figures. First of all, you see right off of the bat there's a size difference, because Mattel has molded their figures at a larger scale. They're actually right at 6 inches, just a little bit over actually, and the Elite figures are 6.5 inch, so they are scaled correctly to the Spartans. Of course, the McFarlane figure has more paint apps. There's gunmetal here, some silver there, gunmetal down here and on the foot, and that kind of thing. And of course, McFarlane's figures always have more of a weathered appearance to them, I would say, versus what you see over here. That being said, this figure does not have the same level of articulation that this figure does. The stances and poses that you can use are very minimal, and they do not hold the weapons very well at all. You know, and I'll turn them around so you guys can kind of compare the back of them. And of course, there's more, again, paint apps here, and there's a little bit more pronunciation on, like, the thruster veins here. Well, they're here also, but they're molded in, as well as these two sections on his calf armor. They're still here, but they're molded differently, and they're not painted a different color. And for those of you who like to customize, that may be something that you want to take on if you purchase this figure. That being said, overall, I still prefer the Mattel figures. And, you know, Mattel and McFarlane are two different companies. McFarlane was extremely limited in the number of figures that they could produce because of finances. They target a specific customer base, which is adult collectors. And then you have to take into consideration things like marketing. You know, they have to buy shelf space at the stores. And that was one of the limiting factors and a big deciding factor, I think, in the figures, you know, only being sold at like Toys R Us, Walgreens, what have you, and taken out of the big box stores. So, you know, there's a lot of factors at play with these figures. Mattel, on the other hand, is the second largest toy company in the world. They have literally unlimited finances, assets, resources that they can use. And McFarlane, for some time now, years actually, has really neglected the Halo toy line. I think on average they would produce 10 or 12 new figures a year. I think it's more like 10. With Mattel, This is just Series 1. I fully expect Series 2 to be out by the end of the year. And, already, they're giving us figures with removable armor that look far more realistic than the figure on the right. Also, they're giving you 2 accessories, 2 weapons with the first line. I don't think McFarlane did that at all. The only time that I recall that is with the Halo 5 Guardians line. So, there's a lot to be said about Mattel and what they're bringing to us. And their customer base is not just the adult collectors. They have the younger kids, they have the little kids, and they're making products for everyone across all ranges. And as far as the detail is concerned, I'm going to point something out you may or may not see. Right here is the logo for ONI, Office of Naval Intelligence. Well, it's also on the McFarlane figure, but it's more pronounced over here on the Mattel figure. And this figure, to me, looks more game accurate, especially with the blues and everything there, versus this figure. So there's a lot to be offered by Mattel, and we shouldn't be too quick to judge them, because 343 Industries would not have awarded them the master product license for the Halo franchise had they not already seen products that they had faith in. This is Halo. This is the flagship game for the Xbox gaming system. It is the probably highest grossing game and / product line for Microsoft that there is. And with Mattel taking over the reins, they have given us their iteration, their vision for the Halo franchise. McFarlane had a vision, that's great, they're gone. This isn't McFarlane. So it's really unfair to constantly compare Mattel to the McFarlane figures. Yes, there's similarities, there's differences, there's pros and cons to each, I think, in some aspects, but overall, I think if you're open-minded, you'll recognize that the Mattel figures are far better. They are primarily going after the adult collector with the 6-inch line, but I'm sure there will be kids that buy them as well. And, who knows what they're going to offer us. I fully expect figures that we haven't seen by McFarlane, like Thomas Lasky or unhelmeted Sarah Palmer that is not on a male sculpt, will be offered. Miranda Keys. There's just limitless possibilities. Even Dr. Halsey may get a figure. Who knows? So Mattel, I can assure you, is really paying attention to the customer base. They're paying attention to the comments and things that are posted online. And they're watching reviews like what we're posting here. And they're going to see, what people have to say about their products. And quite honestly, I really feel like they have brought us an overall better quality product than what McFarlane did. You're paying $19.99 versus $16 for the McFarlane figure. I've heard some people quote $10 and $12. I don't know where they paid that at, because at Walgreens and Toys R Us and most of the figures on Amazon, they cost that much. So for just a few dollars more, technically, $4, $5 at the most, you're getting a better quality product, more points of articulation, more accessories, and you couldn't ask for anything better. Who knows what vehicles and playsets they'll come out with for these 6-inch figures. Only time will tell. So I would encourage everyone to give Mattel the benefit of the doubt, and let's see where this product line goes. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the Mattel Halo Series 1 Spartan Locke action figure. I've had a lot of fun doing these reviews. We have one more coming up first part of next week, which will be the Elite Zealot. And I want to thank everyone who has taken the time to watch my reviews. Feel free to leave your comments or questions on my YouTube page. You may also visit my Facebook page, Orion's Belt Creations. I do a lot of fan fiction writing, and right now I'm preparing to do some customizing of the Boomco Halo M6 blasters, as well as the MA5 rifles when they are released. So if you're interested in getting one of those on commission, feel free to email me at orionsbeltcreations@outlook.com, and I'll give you the details on the different versions that I'm going to be doing, as well as the price point that I'll be offering them at. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the review. Stay tuned, there's more to come, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.